Why would two of the most famous women in the world skip their own brother's wedding? That's the question that's been making waves across social media this week, because Kendall and Kylie Jenner were nowhere to be seen at Brody Jenner's intimate Malibu wedding to pro surfer Tia Blanco. And while publicists offered polite reasons, the truth runs much deeper and far more personal. On the surface, it seemed like a scheduling issue. But then fans pointed out something interesting. Just a few weeks earlier, both Kendall and Kylie were in Europe celebrating at another high-profile wedding. They had no problem hopping on private jets for lavish photo ops in Italy. So why skip Brody's heartfelt small-scale celebration held right in California, at their mother Linda Thompson's own home? That's when the speculation started. And it didn't take long before sources close to the family began confirming what many had already suspected. The decision wasn't about scheduling. It was about decades of unresolved family tension. To understand it, you have to go back. Brody Jenner is Caitlyn Jenner's son from her marriage to Linda Thompson, a relationship that came before Kris Jenner and the Kardashian fame machine. According to insiders, the fallout from that divorce and Kris's arrival into the family picture created deep emotional scars, especially for Brody and his brother Brandon. For years, Brody has hinted at this. He's spoken candidly in interviews about feeling sidelined during his youth, even admitting at times that he didn't feel like part of the new Jenner family once Caitlyn started her life with Kris and the Kardashian clan. The emotional distance, especially between Brody and Kylie, seems to have widened over time. A source recently told Page 6 that Kylie has privately expressed feeling more like a Kardashian than a Jenner. That despite sharing the last name, her loyalty and sense of belonging lies more with Kim, Khloe, and Kourtney than with her half-siblings from Caitlyn's previous life. And when it comes to Kendall, she's always had a slightly closer bond with the Jenner side, especially with Caitlyn. But even she has drifted as fame, business, and brand responsibilities have taken over. But there's more. People close to the situation say that Kendall and Kylie felt their presence at Brody's wedding would be a distraction, that the media would focus more on them than on the bride and groom. In their words, it was an act of respect to not upstage Brody and Tia's big moment. Sounds noble, right? Well, not everyone's buying it. Critics argue that if Kendall and Kylie really wanted to attend, they could have easily made it work. It wasn't a massive televised event, it was a family gathering. And their absence wasn't just physical, it was symbolic. Especially when you consider that neither of them posted about the wedding, sent public congratulations, or even acknowledged it happened. That silence spoke volumes. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Jenner did attend, despite dealing with personal grief following the passing of her close friend Sophia Hutchins. Caitlyn stood proudly by Brody's side and reportedly gave a heartfelt speech at the reception. Sources say she's been trying to heal old family wounds, especially between her children, but it's been an uphill battle. Caitlyn herself has admitted in the past to being an absentee parent during critical years, something she's tried to make amends for in recent times. As for Brody, he kept things classy. In a brief statement posted to Instagram, he thanked those who made the day truly unforgettable. He didn't address the absence of his sisters directly, but fans noticed that he omitted them completely in his thank yous. No tags, no photos, nothing. So where does this leave the Jenner family? At a crossroads, it seems. On one hand, you have Kendall and Kylie, global icons, raised in a hyper-controlled PR environment, loyal to a brand that made them billionaires. On the other, Brody and Brandon, fiercely independent, often feeling like outsiders, quietly watching the empire they were technically part of, but never fully embraced by. And in the middle, Caitlyn, once the bridge between both worlds, now struggling to hold both sides together, if that's even possible anymore. This isn't just a family rift, it's a reflection of fame, fractured legacy, and the emotional costs of building a public dynasty. Kendall and Kylie may have missed Brody's wedding, but what's really missing might be something deeper. Connection, closure, and maybe even a shared sense of family that goes beyond bloodlines and brand deals. The cameras may not have been there to film this one. But make no mistake, this was still very much a Kardashian Jenner episode. And we're all still watching.